No, her feelings justify it, okay? She has every right to feel that way. Trump is a neo-Nazi, terrorist, misogynistic, racist, bigot. They have every right to be afraid, and they have every right to push against, fascism. If you want to support the channel, go down below, hit the link down in the description, get some Goober Can't Reason merch. Atheism Fails merch. Support the channel. Today we're gonna have some fun. I don't know what to expect, but we are gonna watch this one guy. Don't know his name, don't know how to say it. I don't care. We're just going to have some fun today, and we're gonna get political. And it's about 19 minutes long, but I have it going to speed like a little bit faster, so it shouldn't be 19 minutes long. But we're gonna have some fun. I don't know what to expect. I watched like 5 seconds of it. I was just like, I have to watch this. I have to, because we're gonna have some fun. I don't know. I think it'd be fun, or funny, or humiliating. Still the morning for me, guys. It's still the morning for me.
And if you think you're afraid of Trump, you should see how afraid of Trump I am.
You look like a clown.
Jesus. Can you just wrap it up? Yeah.
I can. If you say that you're afraid of Trump...
Can we just point out what she looks like? She's a clown. These are the mentally unstable individuals that claim that they have a right to abortion. Just look at her. Look at his face. He's like, what am I looking at? This is like its daughter. Please tell me this is a joke though, right? Like this is a joke? This can't be real.
If you say that you're afraid of Trump and that's why you don't want the city to be a safe space for trans people, you better prepare for trans people to make this a very unsafe space.
Is that a threat? Trannies, trannies, trannies. What are you gonna do? Dress up like your furries? Have a parade? Go out to the streets? What? Take your clothes off? Guess what? I'm hoping, and I pray, and I already see it here in the state of Florida. Well, obviously we have law and order here in Florida. But I want them to try to do something so disgusting and bad that they just get wrecked by, they just get wrecked. They just all get arrested because of just pedophilia and all. Showing the bodies to kids and all that stuff. Like, oh boy. Like, come on, what are you gonna do? Run around with your gay pride flags? Hear me now! Hear me now! Hear me now! Hear me roar! What are you going to do? Are we gonna have another summer of love? BLM? Let's go! Let's go! Because I'm going to those.
You better prepare for trans people to make this a very unsafe space.
I'm shaking!
I'm not really sure if that's a good argument, that if you don't give us what we want, we're going to incite terrorism. I feel like that's a really bad argument, and I don't think that a lot of people support it.
No, her feelings justify it, okay? She has every right to feel that way. Trump is a neo-Nazi, terrorist, misogynistic, racist, bigot. They have every right to be afraid, and they have every right to push against, fascism. I'm getting better at, this acting. I'm getting better. Because once these protests start, I'm gonna be going to them. And I usually go undercover, so I kinda have to act like them. So I gotta get used to acting and saying certain words, so it's actually good practice.
I feel like that's a really bad argument, and I don't think that a lot of people support that. And whenever I say a lot of people, I feel like anybody who thinks like that...
When do we want it? No.
Can we have like an equivalent exchange? Like, let's take an illegal alien that's lived here for 15 years, and he gets your citizenship, and you have to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if that's the way that you think, yeah, bro, we can keep him, he's fine, you're getting kicked out.
Yep.
Right now. I don't want to be here.
That's a man.
I don't want to be here.
I'm sorry, am I taking too long pleading for my life?
You remembered how many children I have and that 2 of them are trans.
I speak as both the B and the T in the LGBT.
I'm multiply disabled. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a...
So you know what's funny? It's like these people are admitting that they have a mental problem, like a mental issue, but at the same time, they think that we should still take them serious. Like, we should take the clowns in the mental asylums and trust them. That's basically what these people are. Have you seen how mentally deranged these people already are? All of them so far already look like they're mentally insane. And we're gonna take advice from them. We're gonna take advice for school education from them. How to run a society by them? Ain't no way, bro. These people are tripping.
Immense physical pain. I'm on the autism spectrum.
Does she Does she use that as an excuse to do whatever? Like, does she use autism as because she's dressed the way she is and acts the way she is and thinks she's sexually confused? Does she just automatically think that's autism? His face is just like, what did you say? What?
And I have narcolepsy, and I couldn't drive myself here, so I had to hide from my driver that I was in drag, which is not an easy thing to do in drag.
I do not want.
This is why Trump won. I can't, dude. This guy looks like a zombie. This guy looks like a dead zombie. He was one of the actors that danced with Michael Jackson. Oh, dude, I'm dying from this. She's dead inside. Look at it. Oh, okay. It just... that's a woman right there, dude. That is a woman. That's a girl. I can just see it. It's a clown show, dude.
What game is this?
Are you enjoying the circus?
It's Concord.
To be here. It's my day off. I do not.
Oh, it is a man. It's a woman. Yeah.
I do not want to be in your email inboxes. I do not want my creativity writing diss tracks like Kendrick. I don't want to spend an hour.
Bro, you are no different than Drake. You literally the worldview of like a rap artist Drake that goes out there and literally is a certified pedophile and bull lover. You guys' worldview is no different. It allows for the same bullcrap to happen. So don't. In your creativity, you look like a walking zombie. I'm like, unicorn yak. Makes you gay. Maybe if I drink this, I'll be more support. Ah, where's my keys? Oh, shoot, that didn't even come off all the way? Oh, it did. Cheers to the faggotness of this court hearing. That actually smells really good. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not like it's not
Not want my creativity writing diss tracks like Kendrick. I don't want to spend an hour applying glitter.
Applying glitter!
That you will hear and see me.
See me! See me glitter! That's great.
Man.
They're really making a point.
That's me? Yeah. I think that's a lot of people. You've got a lot of snowflakes melting here. It's pretty... Like, I don't see how anybody can listen to these people talk and not come to the...
You know what's funny is that these people here were basically the same ones that made the laws for them. Now they're all seeing the mentally unstable side of it all. This queer group right here that's kind of like just saying and spewing weird stuff and all that, they're not helping their case.
Conclusion that these people have a profound mental illness and there's something seriously wrong with them.
Hey, don't say that. That's
just like the way they talk,
that's
the way they
mean.
act, their body language.
That's mean. You
Everything
can't say
about
that.
It's just completely fucking unhinged.
You can't say that. It's mean. That's horrible.
I want you to listen to me.
Let us remember that the Nazis burned the books that the Nazis burned books on gender sciences.
They did do that.
Now the administration has villainized and marginalized migrant workers, trans...
It's a bit of a like, my understanding is that they burned them not because it was gender stuff, but because it was written in Jewish and not German. And it was like a retaking of Germany for Germans. That was like the...
It's kind of like what Ukraine's doing right now with like Russian books and all that stuff and Russian language and all that. So Ukraine, and this is something I like really highly disagree when it comes to right now with what's happening in Ukraine right now. It's like, oh, Russia hates us, therefore we have to erase all of history about Russia in Ukraine. And I think that's dangerous because then you're no different than Russia saying that Russians say that Ukraine never existed or has never been a sovereign state. Now you're just doing the same thing that they're doing. Oh, we got to get rid of the Russian language. We got to make sure that people don't speak Russian. We can't teach Russian history. That's dumb. And that he's right though. They did burn books, but it was more because they were trying to get rid of the language.
The uprising of the Nazis.
Drink this
so it was like,
again.
yeah, they were. I think it probably might be both in some circumstances, but like it was categorical for it not being written in German. It's disappointing that you can't have genuine conversations because people try to just like kind of, you know,
do that drink,
like handpick facts and like not talk about things in an honest way. But it's like
well,
part of
everybody
that's
does
true,
that.
but it's like not completely.
Even
true.
conservatives do that. I find it like funny. It's like even conservatives here in my city, at least, Sarasota County, conservatives do that way more often. They nitpick what they want to say more than the Democrats do. They do. The Republicans and conservatives here, when I go to like some of like their meetings and all that stuff, and I go to some of their tables that they have set up at events and like whatever, try to talk to them, they just nitpick. And they're not willing to admit when they're wrong. Democrats, they know that they're wrong, and then they just don't want to talk to you, which I'd rather have that than somebody trying to go around that to admitting that they were wrong. That's what I see when it comes to that here in Florida, though. LGBT, bro, you can't even speak.
And even special needs, denying life-saving and affirming care.
Can you look at me and tell me how many of my friends need to die before you do anything?
Please wrap
Look
up.
at me!
Okay, we're all done here.
Well done.
Fucking pathetic!
We're all done. Come on.
Of course, we need to.
Guys, these are the people that are on
Wow.
social media who are telling you how to act.
Because obviously, I want a deranged. I think that was a woman. No, that was a guy. That was a guy. I obviously want these guys to teach me how to raise my family, how to eat, what I should put into my body, how I should educate, what should be allowed in the school system. You know, it's just common sense. We should allow these people to have full control over everything. You know, like there's no debate about it. Like just shut up and accept it.
There are NPCs in Oblivion that are like hostile bandits. That are less
I have
hostile
a
than
friend that says that people are just
Even
NPCs.
them, you can open up
They're
dialogue.
literally like soulless people. And she's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I wonder which Reddit sub wasn't being moderated for the hour that this was going on for.
Continue celebrating Black History Month because, in spite of what's coming down from Washington, we all know that we all exist and we all need to be recognized for our existence.
But be aware that
I don't have to be recognized because of my existence. I don't. This is coming like that. That's a stupid thing. That's a dumb way of living. Because I exist, everybody has to know I exist. Because I walk down the streets, everybody has to know that I like dick in the. You know, I have to allow that. No. I don't go around the street. Hey everybody, look, I'm Christian. I worship Jesus Christ. I don't do that. You know how I do it is, I don't know, I live my life. People come over and talk to me, and then conversations start, and topics originate, and then we start talking about Jesus. I don't know, religion, something like that. And then they go like, oh wow, you're Christian, and be like, yeah. But I don't need to be acknowledged that I exist. I don't. Now you're just getting to like arrogance, stupidity. Look at me queer. Look at me queer. You know, it's just shut up. I don't need to. Silence equals death. Good. Death of your worldview.
that you are a guest in my house when you
Guest
Grapes?
of wait.
We exist and we all need to be recognized for our existence.
but be aware that you are a guest in my house when
For
you
what?
and when you come, know that there are strong queer and trans people in my classroom who will collect you with the quickness.
Collect
So-
you with the quickness?
Is that a
The fuck
threat?
does that mean?
They're gonna rape you.
What does that even mean?
They're gonna take you into the men's bathroom, and the women are gonna penetrate you. I told you guys we're gonna have fun with this one. You're gonna make me gay. Oh, too bad. I'm having fun with this one.
Laddie LaRouge, he, they, in drag, District 3.
My legal name is Olivia D'Ambrosio. My public name is Livy Scanlon. My
I
wife
don't
and
care.
I own a home in the Canal District.
Okay.
I speak as someone who is always misgendered, like
Is this the guy that was like, ma'am? It is ma'am. Is this him? Dude, he looks like he barfed all over his shirt. Why is it
I
very...
own a home in the Canal District.
Okay.
I speak as someone who is always misgendered, like all the time. People refer to me as sir, and I refer to as ma'am.
It is him! Oh, it's him! Oh my gosh! He's back! He's back and he looks even worse! Oh, I must choked on body armor. Oh my goodness.
I speak as someone who is afraid to use public toilets. I speak.
Buddy, I'm afraid to use public toilets. Do you know how bad those things are? Do you know how disgusting those things are? You will walk in and there will be poo-op just everywhere. Why? I'm afraid to use public toilets. And I'm straight. And it's not because gay people or trans people. No, it's because public toilets are probably the most disgusting bathrooms that could ever existed. Even if they look clean and nice and tidy, no, they're disgusting. You're gonna get a disease by sitting on them toilets, dude.
Public toilets, like, because I feel like you're talking about, if you're talking about it from like the context of being trans, like it makes sense. But I think that with a lot of these people, this is something that I used to really, really, really like about Facebook, is that in Facebook, you could actually look at a person's life and you could 9 times out of 10 figure out exactly why they're saying what.
You have to imagine being me and my wife, fearing that our
What do you
marriage.
do with people like this? I think that the best thing for you to do is to
Put them in asylums.
So I think in a lot of cases, compliance isn't compassion.
Compliance
And
is
sometimes you have to
compassion.
hold people accountable to a higher standard of behavior. And,
Yeah.
like
Common sense.
And I think that when you do that and you create a culture that expects people to adhere to a higher degree of behavior, what you do is you create an expectation that is pervasive, and a lot of people that are like this stop acting like this because it's not socially acceptable. And I think that what happens with people like this is that people have enabled.
It's not even like, oh yeah, they live like this because it's been socially accepted. No, they have never lived in peace, ever. They have never lived in peace. This lifestyle is not mindfully peaceful at all. You are always going to struggle with how people see you and view you and how you're going to live your life, because deep down inside you know that's morally wrong. You're never at peace. You're always fighting in your head because you know it's wrong. Oh, you have to imagine, being us right now, and being like the wife and like having to do this now, and it's just like, no, you've never been at peace. You've never been a happy person. You've always been sad, depressed, and angry and distraught about what society is doing, because everything that happens in society has to revolve around your sexuality, and if it isn't about you being your own wife, then that's a problem.
It for a long time, and some of these people are not really that bad, right? Like this woman doesn't seem like she's that bad, but some of the other people, like especially the one screaming, like, oh my god, right? And so the problem is that when you allow these people to do what they want to do, oftentimes they end up making their own lives worse. And whenever you just agree with them and tell them that everything that they believe is true, because
church, listen up. This guy is speaking facts right now. Hey, pastors, Sarasota County, okay, hear me out. Sarasota County, pastors, over 200 and plus churches in Sarasota County. Hey, listen up.
allow these people to do what they want to do, oftentimes they end up making their own lives worse. And whenever you just agree with them and tell them that everything that they believe is true, because you just don't want to deal with it, what you end up doing is you end up enabling a degree of mental illness that's self-destructive. And
Speak
I think
facts,
that's
bro.
What happens with a lot of these people is that people give them what they consider to be compassion, but their idea of compassion is just simply what makes them feel good to do.
You know, the whole idea is like, we were at a study and it was basically like, is our job to judge? And everyone was like saying, no, it's not. And then somebody said, oh, it's the job for the church to judge the church and the believers and everything. It's like, okay, well, guess what? We're commanded to go out and preach the gospel to all believers, all people and all creatures of the world. Okay, go out to the marketplace, go out to blah, 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 and this and that. The only way you decide or go out to a certain place is if you know that there's unbelievers there. So you have to make a judgment. And you don't just talk, okay? You speak to people. You're trying to speak to an individual group of people that you resonate most with because you've been there. That's why I think testimonies are great. That you can speak to the place and the people that you match up perfectly with. Okay, so I go out to the pagans. I go out to the drum circles. Why? Because that's where I was from. That's where my mindset was coming from. That's where my worldview was. Okay? Paganism, witchcraft, Satanism. So that's who I'm going to go talk to. So I have to make a judgment call on saying I'm going to preach the gospel to these individuals because they are not saved. Oh, that's a judgment. So are we called to go and judge, or do we just sit here and do nothing? And let me redefine some terms right now. Judgment. There's two types of judgment, okay? There's righteous judgment, and then there's the final judgment. Our judgment is to go out there and tell people, hey, you living in chaos is going to lead to this, this, and this, turn to Christ. I'm not saying that you're a homosexual, you're going to hell. That's condemnation. We are not to do that. And I think the church needs to realize that. So I see a lot of people in my comments saying that, oh my gosh, the homosexuals, they're going to hell. Check yourself, buddy. Check yourself. We're not to condemn. We're to judge righteously. We're to tell them, if you continue to live in this lifestyle, you will end up here, but you have a way out, and his name is Jesus. We're to go out and warn those who are in sin, not condemn them. The final judgment is when you die and you face God face to face, and from there, that's it. Heaven or hell, okay? That's the judgment that we can't do, because we don't know what's going to happen with that person. We don't know in 40 years from now, is that person going to decide to change his life and believe in Christ? We don't know. So all these people in my comments that are going like, oh, they live that lifestyle, they're going to hell. They have twisted scripture to think that we can condemn the world. And that's technically what they're doing. They're condemning the world. Jesus did not come to condemn the world, but to what? Save the world. So why do we have that mindset of we're going to condemn them and not save them? When we make judgment calls that if you live like this, then you're going to hell. You're going to hell because you're a homosexual. You're condemning the world. You're condemning that person. You're not trying to save that person.
Telling somebody you're right about everything that you think about yourself, that might feel very good to do because you're validating this person, but it might not always be the right thing to do for somebody in the long run. And so because we have a culture that's built so much off of optics, appearances, and virtue signaling, you have people like this that are
corporate church
by their misguided belief that people are compassionate towards them. And they're not compassionate for them. All they're doing is they're telling this person the thing that makes them feel. And I think that another great example of this happening, another permutation of this happening, is with people that are overweight. And it's toxic empathy. It is.
Fat.
This is what I've been
You're
doing.
fat.
I said I'm the most empathetic streamer. One day people realize that I was right. Is that
it's common sense. If you're fat, you're unhealthy.
Like, yeah, it's funny these people are acting ridiculous.
I don't get it.
But underneath that, these are deeply troubled people that need help.
If you're fat, your quality of life goes straight down the toilet. Like, there's no arguing about that. If you're overweight, your quality of life goes down the toilet. That's why it's important to take care of yourself, to exercise, to eat healthy, etc. It's common sense. You don't even need science to know that.
And I think that instead of trying to help them improve their lives, people enable them to further destroy their lives.
Yep.
And at a certain point, you're so far gone that you now can no longer reintegrate into society, and you've effectively destroyed your life.
Yep.
So that's really the way that I feel.
Amen. Amen.
Rights will be stripped away at any moment.
Please, I only have so much time. Please, Joe's gonna cut me off. Which matters more? Covering the...
Is that a cape?
Is that Mickey Mouse? It's the gay pride flag, buddy. Come on, dude, get it right. It's the gay pride flag. Oh boy! Hold on.
Please, Joe's gonna cut me off. Which matters more?
Which matters more? It's a gay pride flag.
Legal fees of systemic police brutality or protecting the lives of queer people in our community.
Buddy.
How many lives have to be lost before you consider fighting back against fascism and corruption?
Now is the time to say that federal money relies on the organization of trans people, that we don't want your goddamn money.
I get that some of you care more about fun.
I'm glad that this person who probably lives in an upper middle class household and has never really had to worry about any sort of existential money problems in their life. I'm very glad that he's here to tell the government that other people that have the same viewpoint that he does don't want their money. Thank God that he's able to do that.
About easy funding and trans lives, and don't mind Nazis for some whatever reason, but...
Let me go back. I wasn't really listening to that.
Organization of trans people, that we don't want your goddamn money.
I get that some of you care more about easy funding than trans lives, and don't mind Nazis for some whatever reason, but...
Normally I would say good evening, but through the chair I will only impart my sour...
This is the Hunger Games, bro. The queerness is getting to my brain. That is a villain from Spider-Man. It's okay, buddy.
Can you imagine, like, this is like your job? You have to just, like, listen to these people? Because in Austin, it's the same way.
You know what's funny? Oh, it is your job to listen to these people because you allowed this to happen. Oh my gosh. You allowed this to happen. Oh, this is my job. Oh, why do I have to go to work? I don't want to listen to people babble. You allowed this to happen. You pushed their agenda. And now you are going to suffer the consequences of you allowing this crap to become normalized throughout society. You reap what you sow, buddy. This is your job. job because you allowed it to happen.
I watched a couple of like, public access TV hearings.
Oh, I feel so bad for the people that have to sit there dealing with this crap.
Mom,
I don't feel bad. They reap what they sow, buddy.
Another crack.
They allowed it.
And then somebody that has like, that's dressed up like a Christmas tree that wants every day to be Christmas. And then that's the end of it. Okay, see you guys. That's it. No, really. Like, if you guys ever watched one of like your local news station, the city hearings?
Yeah, I go to them.
The emotional and taxing thing to stand up here as someone as part of the trans and gender diverse community.
My name is Kate.
Hold on, are those huge paper clips in his ears?
To stand up here as someone as part of...
Are trying to control the rights of others, and that's not right. We should make...
I'm sorry. You're gonna grab a kid? He even has a black American flag. But you don't even know the name of anything. Kid, if you were sat down and you were asked questions about anything that you were saying, you would just be like, I don't know. My dad gave me this paper to read. This is stupid. Shame on the dad. Shame on the dad. Shame on him.
I think it's like you really gonna bring the kid in and then like the parents like having the kid read this stuff. I mean,
I'm gonna make people feel
like,
guilty.
Really,
you're gonna hurt my son.
It's like one thing. Like I know obviously like families are gonna have ideologies that they teach their kids.
Kid is
but it's
doomed.
like one thing to have your kid learn about this ideology, and it's another thing to like use them as your
political
as your thorn,
spawns.
so you can have like some sort of like I guess you could say like emotional upper hand.
That political spawn
as your mouthpiece. Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna put my it's like literally ISIS. Put the kids in front. I can't. I gotta skip this. I don't want to even hear this kid. Well, that was a show.
Oh my gosh.
That was a show, bro.
The kid did not read that? Yeah, I don't know what to say. 7 years old, exactly. Isn't this the same thing as Musk bringing his son to the Oval Cabinet? Both is not a place for a kid. I knew that there would be a low IQ person that would try to draw that correlation.
How is that the same, though? Elon Musk bringing his kid into the Oval Cabinet? Like, how is that the same? How is that the same as forcing your child to read a paper to push a certain agenda? Did Elon Musk's son read a paper and how much he supported Trump? Did he have like a paper written out by Elon Musk to read out to the public to let him know that, yeah, my son supports Trump and here's why, and just have him read this paper? No, it didn't happen. You know what did happen was he was just on his shoulders.
So I already thought about what the difference was whenever I was saying it, because like this is just again it's just a very, it's like an obvious like I'm not going to think about this at all or put any effort into it, but I'm just gonna like try to draw this correlation so I can like double down on some perceived hypocrisy. It's totally different because his kid isn't speaking for him. His kid isn't being used to push any sort of agenda. They're not having the kid as a mouthpiece or a tool to advance an agenda. The kid is just...
You know what's funny? I'm going to say this before I end this. I don't need to hear anything else because I agree with what he's about to say. Any parent that uses their child as a mouthpiece, you're a piece of garbage. You're a piece of garbage. You're going to use your son or daughter as a shield to be able to do what you want to do sexually. You're a piece of garbage.